of old days and stay free, remain free, you know. And so what they did is they built their forts, no different in Rome than they did out here in California, so that they could shove all the people that knew how to live on this land that had been here since time memorial, because God created them right here out of the soil beneath their feet, you know. Well, they went and put them in cages so that they wouldn't contaminate the colonizers who were out here to destroy God's creation and teach them how to live within in unison, you know. That's what happened there, you know, honestly. And that's the whole reason why, too, with the colonizers. That's why they freed slaves in the first place. Yeah, sure, we had a bunch of slaves out here, and they got their use out of their slaves. But what they wanted to do was expand further west, you know. And they knew that they couldn't use slaves out in the west because the indigenous communities were already so big and powerful because they had horses and stuff, that if the slaves joined them, then the slaves they already weren't so distant, you know, so colonized. They're from Africa, where they still had a lot of tribal knowledge. They still had a lot of wisdom of the land and stuff like that. And so, like, the colonizers who came out of the Middle East and out of Rome and Europe, they were afraid that when the African people got hooked up with the Native American people, right, the indigenous communities, like out there with the horses and everything, they could have never defeated them, because they would have been more powerful than the colonizers were, because they knew how to live off of the land. They knew how to sustain themselves. They knew how to maintain the buffalo. They knew how to maintain the salmon. They knew how to grow the crops that grew resourcefully without irrigation. They knew how to feed themselves out of the forest, you guys. And so they were very powerful. And so they were afraid, the slavers were afraid, that if they freed them slaves to go out there go out west, you know, or if they tried to have enslaved people west of the Mississippi, all they were going to do is run off and join the indigenous communities and revolt and stand up, and the West would still be wild if that would have happened. And so they were like, oh, we're going to free the slaves. And that's no different than what Benjamin Franklin did when he started printing all that bullshit about manifest destiny and how we're going to be United States of America, a free country. That's not true. You can't be a free country if you're killing everything that lives on it. I mean, come on now. Think about it, you know? And so that's why there's a new team in town. This says USA, but this coin right here, it's a hockey coin. It's just some bullshit coin that I found, again, like most stuff in my bag. And it's just some aluminum coin that doesn't mean jack shit. But what it does show on this coin, which I show everybody, is that the flag, see the hockey guy, he's standing upright, you know, but that flag is in the reverse. If you look at that flag, the stars are on the bottom of that flag because that's in the reverse, right? And so what's happening is that this system, Manifest Destiny, is a motherfucking lie, okay? And so we're here now